The girl my husband cheated on me with 7 years ago just got hired at my job, in the same department as me, and now I dread coming to work since I have to see her disgusting-looking face every single day. My husband, 28M, and I, 26F, have been married for 2 years, together for 8 years. 7 years ago he cheated on me with a repulsive woman, 30F, who knew about me but still pursued him relentlessly because the challenge was fun. I found out by chance when he accidentally sent me a text that was meant for her. I cut contact and tried to move on, but he was persistent, and eventually we got back together. There was a drastic change in our relationship after that. He seemed to lose all interest in other women in general. He said that the time without me had been an eye-opener, and that he never wanted to feel like that again and wanted to better himself in every way possible. It took a long time for me to even remotely trust him again, but it happened, with time. I thought I was over what had happened. My mom, everybody's best therapist, right? Kind of pounded it into me that I had 2 options: break up and move on, or get back together and work past it. What she was saying was that if I made the decision to be with him, we had to work past it. I couldn't be with him and use this as some sort of tool or weapon to whip out whenever I wanted to over the years. And she was right, that wouldn't have worked. So we worked it out. Together. He never tried to excuse his actions, which I appreciated, and we both made changes, and then we kind of grew up. We started from square one and built up from there. We bought a couple of houses, we got married, and life was good. I didn't think about it much at all, and when I did, it was kind of in a look how far we've come sort of way. Like I said, I thought I was over it this whole time. Apparently I'm not. When I walked into my office last week, the first thing I see in the waiting room is the other girl's nasty face. She had been hired with my company, and it was her first day. She has a very unique, pig-like face that is impossible to forget. I didn't acknowledge her into my office, but I couldn't concentrate. I don't want to be anywhere near this awful person. We work in the same department but on different teams, so we will have pretty close contact on a day-to-day basis, although not constant either. She's been in training so far, so we haven't really talked at all. I've gotten multiple accidental friend requests from her on Facebook when she's creeping on my page, so I know that she recognizes me. When my manager walked her around the office introducing her to people, I just kind of did the smile and nod in her direction. She smiled and winked. Nice. I'm not sure what to do. I feel sick just being near her. I see her face and I can't stop picturing it against my husband's. I've been mad at my husband on and off ever since she started at my office. I'm reliving the whole thing, and I'm pissed that he did this to us and that I am in this situation now because of him. He hugs or kisses me and I pull away, and I feel crazy that the reason for this is something that happened 7 years ago. I did talk to him about it, but I'm not sure what I expect from him. He's extremely sympathetic and apologizes profusely that I have to be near her. He keeps pointing out how much we have grown and how amazing our life has been, and reminds me that he's a different person now. I walked into our room a couple nights ago and he was sitting on the bed crying because of what he'd done to us. I don't know what to do. I'm on a roller coaster in crazy town right now. I go from sick feeling to angry to sad to guilty for making him sad to angry again to crazy for being mad over something that I thought was so far behind me. He has encouraged me to do what feels best, whether that be to continue working there or to quit. He's been supportive of either decision and pointed out that he could support us easily if I quit working altogether. I don't want to leave my job. I worked extremely hard to build my way up to my position. I earned it. I make good money and have amazing benefits. But I feel sick just thinking about being near her every day. Am I crazy here? What would you guys do if you were in my shoes? Am I seriously losing it to be upset about something that's 7 years in the past? Input, please. Commenter: she wasn't the one in a relationship with you. He was. So what did she exactly do to slight you? And, are you taking his word for it that she was pursing him? This is going to continue to eat at you and fester at you, and you will continue to despise her. But where is that going to get you? Up. She actively pursued my so despite knowing that he was with me. I'm not saying she is the only one at fault. Just that she is an innocent. And yes, after I found out about what was going on, he gave me his phone to see the extent of it. She was very pushy and extremely manipulative. For example, claiming to need him right now because her boyfriend had hit her and she was stranded at the dude's house and needed someone to take her home and be with her. This was in fact false, but my husband had previously turned her down when she asked to see him, so she came up with this. Like I said, he's at fault as well, but she isn't innocent. Update. First, I want to thank everyone for your advice and replies. I read everything and I tried to respond to as many as I could. One thing that I wanted to clear up is that my husband never slept with what's-her-face. I realize how that was implied when I said he cheated, but that didn't happen. They hooked up, sans actual intercourse. And yes, I know that beyond any possible doubt, so no reason to speculate there. Anyway, on to the update. She got fired. Turns out Miss Crazy Pants used me as a reference to get the damn job. I had decided to not say anything about her to my boss because I figured, hey, what the fuck ever. She's the past. She's nothing. She doesn't matter. So I had decided to leave it alone and let her fail on her own. That didn't take long. My boss was in my office talking about Crazy Pants' performance when she said, I'll be completely honest, Tresrio, she's not exactly how you described her. I had no clue what boss was talking about, so I asked her to elaborate, and she said, well, when I asked you about her before we hired her, you described a much different performance level than what I've seen so far. Does she usually take a while to adjust and get into the flow of things? By this time I was completely lost. I know for a fact I have never mentioned Crazy Pants to my boss, and I've definitely never talked about her work ethic or performance to anyone at all, unless it's been talking about her grade A performance at being a hooker. Actually no, I wouldn't insult a hooker with such a disgusting comparison. Anyway. My boss looked at my blank stare and said, are you forgetting this whole conversation? A few weeks before we hired her I asked for your reference? You said she was a team player and a great asset? Well, fuck me. I did refer someone when the position opened up. And when my boss asked for my reference, it was super off the books. Very laid back and informal. I think her exact words back then were, so tell me about the woman you referred. I got her resume and she looks great on paper, but how is she as a person? And I answered, in reference to the actual woman that I referred. Turns out Crazy Pants really is that crazy. She must have gotten my employment info off of my Facebook like so many of you pointed out. I hadn't even thought of that before. I've since changed my privacy settings, and decided to apply to fuck with me or something. I have no clue what her endgame was. She probably wanted me to get the reference request from my boss with her name actually said just to mess with me or let me know that she's watching. I don't know if she actually expected to be hired. Doesn't matter now because she got super fired and probably needs a psyche eval. I don't know. Don't care. She isn't worth worrying about. She's blocked from all of my social media accounts, and our building security already has record of fired employees to keep an eye out for. If I hear from her or see her again, then I'll look into legal protection from her crazy ass. But for now I'm letting the whole thing go. Bye, Felicia. Commenter, damn, up. Can you give us more details about what went down with your boss once you realized the misunderstanding? Was your boss super pissed? Up. She was very pissed. She went and got Crazy's resume and brought it to me to verify that it was me on the reference section. Then I told her the name of the person that I actually referred, and she got that person's resume out too so I could verify which was the right person. I gave her the resume of the correct person, that one didn't have any names in the reference section, and told her that I actually had personal issues with Crazy in the past and that I'm guessing that is why she knew where I worked, but neither of us could figure out why she would put me as an actual reference. My boss could have easily said, I want to talk to you about your reference for Crazy Pants, instead of just saying the woman you referred. It was the weirdest order of events to end up here. But once we looked at both resumes and cleared up who was who, she called Crazy into her office and asked her to leave immediately. She told her basically that it wasn't a good fit and that she would have given her longer to work out if it hadn't been for the blatant lying on her resume.